Title: Eye of the Storm by Ukiresh Azubike. Chapter 19. The Mirror of Uwa. The mirror speaks before it shines. In every land where the wind has memory, there are whispers of the Mirror of Uwa. Among the Igbo, it is said to be the Eye of Chukwu, the reflection through which the Creator once looked upon his first children before the world was divided by knowledge and hunger. The Yoruba call it Oju Orun, the Heaven's Eye, a gate through which the Ori of humankind once ascended freely until pride and desire broke the bridge. In the kingdoms of the Sahel, griots sing of Zarah Nuru, the Mirror of Light, said to contain the first syllable that spoke the world into being. And deep in the rainforests, the elders of the Cross River tribes whisper that the mirror is not a thing of glass or metal, but of spirit, a rhythm buried in the heart of the earth, which, if struck rightly, can bend the course of time itself. It is said, whoever finds it will no longer see themselves as one, but as all. Every joy, every sorrow, every secret that ever walked the earth reflected endlessly back into their soul. The Mirror of Uwa does not show faces. It shows truth, and truth is heavier than iron. The First Shadows. The night before they left Ouidah, Imezi felt it. The prickle of cold behind her neck, the air thinning, the sound of insects vanishing all at once. Kezie was by the fire, sharpening his blade, when the silence dropped like a stone. "Do you hear that?" he asked. She didn't answer. Her hand was already on Ikpochi Anwu, the blade of dawn. The sea breeze had stopped breathing. Then came the laughter, low, hollow. A child's voice, echoing from nowhere and everywhere at once. "The children of storm still wander, still defy the tide." They came out of the darkness like smoke. The other ones, tall, thin silhouettes with eyes that gleamed silver. Wherever they stepped, the ground darkened and curled as though burned by unseen fire. Imezi and Kezie rose back to back. "You should have stayed forgotten," one of the shadows hissed. "Join us. Let go of the burden of light. The world you protect will devour itself anyway." Kezie tightened his grip. "You talk too much." He swung. His blade met the shadows, if it could be called that, and the clash sent a ring of white light through the dark. But the shadow didn't fall. It melted, reformed behind him, and struck again. Imezi's sword caught another strike just in time. The blade of Ikpochi Anwu glowed faintly, but its full light refused to awaken. "Why isn't it answering me?" she gasped. "Because you fight with anger, not purpose," came a whisper. Not Kezie's, not human. It was the same voice that had given her the sword. She struck harder, spinning in a blur, her movements a dance of instinct and memory. Kezie fought beside her, two blurs of motion in the moonlight, every parry and counterstrike a heartbeat from death. The other ones fought with forms that shifted, once like men, then beasts, then pillars of shadow. They whispered things meant to break them. "Where is your mother, Imezimma? He will leave you again. You were not made for mercy." Each word stung like an arrow. Imezi faltered, rage surging. Her blade flashed wild, no longer guided by calm or clarity. Kezie shouted, "Focus! They feed on emotion!" But she couldn't hear him through the roar in her head. Grief, loss, fear, anger. The mirror's whispers pressed behind her eyes like a scream waiting to be born. Then, light. A single flare burst from the heart of her sword, casting the shadows back just enough for Kezie to pull her away. They fell into the brush, gasping, bloodied but alive. The night returned to its silence. The journey into green. By dawn, they were gone from Ouidah, taking only what they could carry. The forest swallowed them, tall mahogany trees dripping with vines, monkeys leaping from branch to branch, drums echoing faintly from far-off villages. The air was thick with the smell of earth and rain and unseen life. For days, they traveled without speaking much. The tension from the night still clung to them like mist. When they reached the borders of the Dahomey kingdom, they saw warriors for the first time. The famed Minnow, women soldiers of the king. They stood at the edge of a river, faces painted, spears gleaming in the sun. One stepped forward, her bearing regal, her voice steady. "You cross Dahomey's land. Speak your purpose." Kezie bowed slightly. "We seek the mirror." Her eyes flickered with recognition. "Then you walk the path of gods and graves." Imezi met her gaze. "We walk because we must." The warrior studied her, then nodded. "Follow the drums east. The priests there have seen visions. They speak of two who carry the dawn in their hands." The soldiers let them pass, but not before the leader pressed something into Imezi's hand. A carved wooden token, shaped like a serpent swallowing its tail. "Keep it," she said, "for when the mirror asks for proof of who you are." Fire and choice. They made camp by a river that night, the forest alive with the hum of crickets and frogs. For a while, it almost felt peaceful. Imezi sat apart, staring into the water where her reflection wavered like smoke. "What if the mirror doesn't want to be found?" she said softly. Kezie looked up. "Then why does it keep calling you?" "Maybe it wants to end me. Maybe it's tired of this half-life." He moved closer. "You're not alone in this, Imezi. I swore to walk with you, even into darkness." She turned to him, eyes wet. "And if it's my darkness that destroys you?" He didn't flinch. "Then at least I'll know it was for light." The words hung between them, heavy with meanings neither dared speak. The ambush. It came just before dawn, the air changing again, birds bursting from the trees in panic. The other ones had returned. Dozens of them, crawling out from the earth, from the mist, from the shadows themselves. Their laughter rose like thunder. Kezie drew his sword. "This time we end it!" But their blades again glowed only faintly, not yet awakened. They fought as best they could, blocking, parrying, deflecting strikes of shadow that hissed and burned through the ground like acid. Every blow from the other ones was heavier than fear. Every counterstrike drained them further. One of the shadows lunged, knocking Imezi down, pressing its face to hers, a mask of shifting darkness. "You cannot protect them forever," it whispered. "You will become like us." "You already are, Imezi!" Not in fear but fury, and drove her blade upward. A flash,
white and gold, tore through the clearing. The shadow vanished, leaving a scorch mark in the shape of a spiral. The forest fell still again. Kezie helped her up, his hand trembling. "You did it." She looked at her blade, still smoking faintly, and whispering, "No, it did."
They walked until sunset, neither speaking. At the edge of a wide clearing, Imezi stopped and looked at the horizon, where the first faint shimmer of the Atlantic could still be seen far behind them. "The mirror is close," she murmured. Kezie nodded. "Then we go where it leads." And as the moon rose over the forest, its light spilled upon their blades, and for the first time, they glowed not faintly, but with the slow, awakening promise of dawn.